moussaka, Greek salad, ouzo. My favorite combination in Greece. Lucius Mosenico Venetarium du Marcus Antonius Dido Moderat Supremus. That is Latin, and AD MDC CXXVIII 1728. This is the new fortress, Venetian Fortress of Corfu. The old town of Corfu, a UNESCO World Cultural Heritage Monument, is classified among the most important fortified city ports in the Mediterranean Sea. The fortifications of the town are mainly the result of the efforts of the Venetians, 1386 to 1797, with modifications and additions during the period of the British protection 1815 to 1864. This is a solid building. And there, the Ionian Sea. And here, more Latin, which has been worn away. And a fantastical creature, lion with wings. I forget what that one is called. Here we have the popular market, the gate to the town through the market. Looks like it is not really happening. It is a hot day in Greece. Today is June 25th. Summer has officially begun, and with a vengeance. Walking around the fascinating and historical old Corfu town, going out this way, and the more modern buildings you can see here. So I just failed a very important test, which I am very happy to say that I failed, because it was a COVID test, antigen test that I just got. It cost 20 euros or about $23 and took 20 minutes for the results. So that is a good deal, much better than the one that I got in Portland, Oregon for $200 before I went to Alaska. So that is my second COVID test that I've gotten. And so I'm all ready to catch a flight tomorrow to another country. We'll find out soon. I've been there before. It is not far away, and it's going to be hot there too, until I get up into the mountains. So that is a little hint. And so here is a more happening part of the market. But let's go get lost in the old town. It is really amazing. This is my third time to Corfu. In fact, this is the first place that I came in Greece, because I came here by ferry from Brindisi, Italy in June 1990 when I was 18, and then came back again in 2017. Both visits were just a few days. The first one was just 2 or 3 days, the second one 5 days. And so I haven't, fully explored the island. I would like to see more, but I just decided I'm ready for a change. So, can I orient myself here and figure out where I am and where I want to go? I'm trying to decide whether to head over to the old fortress first or get lost in the lanes. I think that I will try to get lost in the lanes here a bit more, and then end up at the old fortress. So I have a landmark. I used that ATM yesterday, Eurobank. So they tried the usual scam of offering a terrible conversion rate that would have cost me, 30, 40 bucks or whatever on top of the 400 euros that I withdrew. Always choose decline conversion. That is your piece of information you need to keep in mind. Decline the conversion offer. They are offering to convert the money for you instead of your bank converting it at a fair rate, and the ATM will offer you a horrible rate. After I declined the conversion, it went to another screen where it said, "Are you sure that you want to decline the conversion? The rate is fair and competitive," something like that, which it is not. It is absolutely criminal that they can even say that. But I went ahead and got my money anyways because the withdrawal fee was only, I believe, 2 euros and 50 cents or else 3 euros, which is very reasonable as long as you make sure to not accept their offer to convert your cash for you and take a big chunk off of it in the process. Okay, well, I am recognizing things. So there's the old Venetian Fortress out there, but let's head down the narrow and nicely shaded little lanes first, and I'm going to try to find a couple of things in the process, and also for a little something to talk about. Then in a previous video I told the story of my first time to Greece that I just mentioned about arriving here in Corfu and the full month that I spent traveling around Greece in 1990 when I was 18. So in this video I thought that I would tell the story of my second time to Greece. 2009, August. So I was 37. I came with a bicycle, a mountain bike, that I bought in Portland, Oregon, where I'd been working for the previous 8 months after a previous trip to Asia. Okay, let's see. Down here. Let's give this a try. I was a food delivery guy. Basically, it was like Uber Eats, before Uber. Back in 2008, 2009. Actually, I started that job. Okay, here we got some old looking buildings. I started that job in, I think, late 2002. Now, does this end? Yes, okay. Fish spa. And so I worked there delivering food from 2002 to 2009. And that is how I paid for some of my previous travels. And so I arrived in Athens, Greece with a mountain bike in early August 2009. Okay, this is one of the things that I was looking for. I am much more prepared this time than my later trip in 2016, in which I just bought the bike in Athens and didn't have any other equipment. This time I'd had lots of time to prepare for this trip. So this is a very old looking church. A worn away painting there. So keep in mind, this was part of the Venetian Empire, and it does have a Venetian Italian feel to it. It reminds me a lot of Šibenik, Croatia, which also was part of the Venetian Empire. And of course, Italy is not far away, just across the Ionian Sea. And so I arrived in Athens and I Had a bike and a flat tire kit, helmet of course, knee and elbow protectors. I was like super prepared for any problems, and it's a good thing because I had a lot of flat tires on that trip. I spent a few days in Athens getting ready as usual, and then headed for the island of Anafi. And so I will give little reviews of the islands, give people some ideas. Corfu on the towel up there. Okay, let's see if I can find the other thing. So I'd done a lot of research before that trip, looking at various islands, deciding, where I wanted to go, like trying to find some of the less popular islands. And so I settled on Anafi, which is right past Santorini. The ship actually goes to Santorini and then goes one stop further to Anafi Island and stops there. So it is a really nice, very non-touristy island. It has just one town called Hora up on a hill, and then really nice beaches. There's a monastery that you can hike up to, which I haven't done yet, so next time I go back to Anafi. Okay, up there is where I had that big meal yesterday. Big and expensive. I got a little carried away, but I was hungry and it was good. Nice little square here. Again, the sea out there. And so from Anafi, then I went next to Syros. Very nice island, also not very touristy. All right, so a nice little shady spot here. And I'm trying to remember, I think through here. I spent maybe 4 or 5 days on Syros, and so I'm going by mountain bike. You take them on the ferry. It is free to take them on the ferry. You just put them underneath. Oop. Wow. She's got a little prize there, but she's not doing anything. What a trip. I guess she just knows that she or he, that it's wounded and can't escape or something. And so I'm taking the mountain bike. You roll it onto the ferry and park it in the bottom with the cars, and then hang out on the ferry ride. And then you just roll off on the island and start biking around. And so I biked across Syros. I'm out biking around the island today. Here we go. Oh man, there they go. I'm standing here sort of somewhat precariously. Been watching those birds for a while, trying to get some good shots. I'm camped at Galissus Bay by the beach, or sort of near the beach, and so I'm biking sort of up and over, up this road right here. I camped. I had a tent and sleeping bag, or maybe just a blanket or whatever. Here is the other thing. And look at that year, 1699. 320 years old. And so that is Greek, whereas this is Latin. I wonder if it's a fountain. Looks like it, just missing the top part. Okay, so let's wander over, and I will find where my room is and show it. And so I camped on Syros for a few 3-4 nights, and then next went to Naxos. I'm biking along on the island of Naxos on a dirt road here that goes along the sea, and just came across a pretty cool sight here. I guess these would be parasailers. kite surfers, something like that. Another really awesome island. And then from there, then I had a job set up, a work exchange job at this retreat center on the Pellian Peninsula. I'd also found out about that by just researching just different things to see in Greece. So I was going to be working for 2 weeks in exchange for room and board. Okay. Ooh, I think it's over here. And so I arrived there, going by ferry to Athens and then taking a bus from Athens to Volos. And there was an incident, so this is my room up ahead here. There was an incident getting my bicycle onto the bus because I asked them when I bought the ticket, is it okay to bring the bike on the bus? And they said yes. And so I get there once the bus is getting ready to leave, and the bus driver totally freaks out, like is so pissed off that he has to deal with his bicycle. I think he had to rearrange some bags, and he just throws this total fit. This like temper tantrum basically about the bicycle, just throwing up his arms. He's screaming like in Greek, no English at all, but it's obvious, that he's upset and what he's mad about. Okay, this is the place. So room tour, kind of small bathroom, kind of small apartment, but cute and nice, clean, quiet, and cool, with a couch, full kitchen, table, great Wi-Fi for a change. It's been a while since I've had decent Wi-Fi, and a separate bedroom. Some of you will probably recognize this blanket. I bought it in Vashisht near Manali, India, back in 2014, and for me it is a traveling essential because so often the blankets are unsatisfactory for one reason or another. For example, here there was a sheet and a blanket here. A very thick, warm blanket, considering it is like in the 90s, 95 degrees or something out there, 35 or more degrees Celsius, very hot. And so for various reasons, then I end up using my own blanket. Either it's dirty, it's too short, it's too big, it's too thin, it's too thick, whatever. Probably like 50% of the time or so, I end up using my own blanket. All right, let's get out of here. So the price, I will talk about it as I get walking. So the room is 150 euros for 2 nights, so that is 75 euros per night, which is about $95 US per day, which is, of course, expensive. But it is Corfu town, it is trendy, it is going into high season. This was literally like about the cheapest thing that I could find on booking.com yesterday on my way here, because I came from Paxi Island nearby. And so you can obviously find cheaper accommodation elsewhere, but nice little place despite the price. All right, so I was at the angry Greek bus driver. And so little did I know at the time, but standing in the crowd of people, because there was like a whole crowd there while this guy is going crazy, was a Greek girl named Deanna. Now some of you might recognize that name. I will explain the significance of that in just a minute. And so I catch the bus. Finally the guy gives in and gets my bike into the undercarriage of the bus. We get going and I get dropped off in Volos, and from there then I get the advice to get another bus up to the top of a hill, and from there I bicycle like 30 miles or something. An amazing day of biking that was basically all downhill. I'm now on the Pellian Peninsula, which is north of Athens, about 4 hours by bus. I'm back on the mainland now after being on the islands for the past 3 weeks. It was all downhill. I took a bus up to the top of the hill, and then I've been biking downhill 40 minutes or something. Looks like I'm at a crossroads.
And I'm pretty sure I go to the right. Kissos, that's where I'm going. 12 kilometers, that's another 8 miles still. I hope the downhill continues.
To get to the little village where the retreat center was on the Pellian Peninsula. Now, if I keep talking about this trip in such detail, it's going to go on forever, so I'm going to try to move it along. So I get to this retreat center, and I work there for 2 weeks. While I'm there, then there is a person attending the retreat named Diana from Athens. And so we end up talking. The workers and the participants all kind of mingle together. And then I also end up meeting this Canadian couple. And all of us kind of become friends at the retreat. Then I leave the retreat with the Canadian couple who had a van and were on a big road trip. They were leaving the same day as me. All right, so that is the old Venetian Fortress. The other one was over there. I took a swim down there yesterday evening. So I leave with the Canadian couple in their van that they are driving all over Europe in. And we drive next to Delphi, the ancient ruins of Delphi. Oh man, that water is looking so nice right now. But I'm going to get over to the fortress and you can go inside. So from the ancient ruins of Delphi, or Delphi, we drive next to Athens, where we get in touch with Diana because she is back there. Visit with her for a couple of days, and then we all come up with this idea to do a road trip to the Pellian Peninsula of southern Greece, because Diana has a house there, like a condo sharing kind of a thing. So we drive down there and spend a few days there, and in the process then Diana and I end up hooking up. And then I go back to Athens with her and hang there for a little while. She had to do something or other in a few days, so we decided to go to the island of Aegina.
So what do you think? Happy to be on a boat?
Yeah. Super happy.
So the clip that you just saw there was on the ferry going to Aegina. And then she has to get back to Athens, and so I go back to Athens with her for a few days. Then she has something going on. So I leave and go next to the island of Patmos. Then a week later, she comes out and joins me, and we travel together for the next 5-6 weeks, something like that. 1876 to 1935, whoever that guy is. His last name definitely sounds very Greek. Oikonomopoulos, I guess, something like that. So I'm going to wrap up the video here by just kind of going quickly through the rest of the islands that we went to. So Patmos, I highly recommend. One of my favorite Greek islands, very nice. From there we went to Leros, a very non-touristy island, very authentic. There's a big castle. Speaking of castles, there the beaches were not great, but it was nice to see a little different side of Greece. Look at a pirate ship. Basically, there's no such thing as a bad Greek island. There's no Greek island that you go to and are like, man, that place was horrible, you know, so dirty and noisy or whatever. Some islands are nicer than others, or just more what you personally might prefer, but they've all been worth visiting, at least that I've seen. So from Leros, we went to Lipsi, a tiny, tiny little island. I guess Lipsi means thin or skinny or something. It has some nice beaches, a lovely town.
Coming into the main town of Lipsi here, actually the only town. Sorry. Yes.
And then from there we went to Kos, but only to change ferries and then go to Nisros. And Nisros is a really cool island as well. A volcanic crater at the center of it. Nice main town and some other little villages. A fortress. From there, we went to Rhodes. Rhodes is one of my less preferred islands. I generally tend to prefer the smaller ones. I found the Rhodes town to be, although it has a nice old town, kind of reminiscent of this one here, but it had more of a city feeling. It's a bigger town, and I just prefer the smaller villages. Must be a Venetian person, Count Matthias von der Schulenburg. Okay, now that sounds not Italian. And so he was a German general, but the last great general of the Serenissima Republic of Venice. So he was kind of both German and Venetian. So Rhodes was still nice, but as I said, not my favorite Greek island. From there, we booked a ferry to Milos, but there was a problem with the ferry. It didn't go. So this is where you pay to go inside. I will pay the fee and then continue the story on the other side. Let's see, general admission, €6. So this is amazing. Looking forward to seeing what's inside and the views from up there. Wow, just magnificent. And so we had a ferry booked from Rhodes to Milos, but the ferry didn't run because it was broken or something. And so we had to wait for another ship, and basically we had to go to Santorini for a day and then change there. And so we spent just one night in Santorini. There I got some of my favorite photos and video clips that I've gotten, you know, with my old crappy camera, but the little hidden secret church that I've mentioned in previous videos, I found that day in the evening watching the sunset. A classic Greek experience here, coming down through this little canyon like this, and lo and behold, a little Greek church. There was nobody here then. I bet there will be nobody here today. It's not Sunday. I guess on a Sunday morning then there would probably be some people here, but otherwise this is about as hidden as you can get. And check out that view. How amazing is that? The sun sets right out there, and so this is really the true ultimate sunset viewing spot on Santorini that most people don't know about it, because most people watch the sunset from the town of Ia out there. There is no sign for this church from the main road. It is just a little hidden treasure that I happened to find. So
Pretty cool. All right, time for me to get back on the road and get to the port.
(1636 to 1671). So part of the Venetian era. And so when it comes to Santorini, then there's a lot of hype. It is the island that is probably most known by Americans at least. But it is one of those places that meets the hype. It is absolutely one of my favorite Greek islands, favorite places in the world. I've been there 4 times now and would be happy to go back. It is just fascinating. The views looking down at the crater are just mind-blowing. Great beaches, various historical sites, a lot to see, and really a quintessential Greek islands experience. So from Santorini, then we caught the next boat to Milos. Really cool island. I'd like to go back and see more of it sometime. Not very touristy, although this was getting late in the season by then. It was October. And then from Milos, then we went to, I believe, Seraphos. I always get them a little mixed up because there's Syros, there's Sifnos, and there's Seraphos, all right near each other. I think it was Seraphos, which was, from my recollection, the least amazing and memorable Greek island that I've been to. Now, it was late in the season and the weather turned bad. It got stormy. I remember going on a bike ride because I had my bicycle with me this whole time. Deanna didn't have a bicycle. There is quite a lot to see here. I still have to get up there. And so I was on a bike adventure for a couple of hours and it started to pour down rain really hard. So I can't really, judge very thoroughly the island, but I don't think that there's like a whole lot to see on that particular island. Ooh, some more interesting stone carvings. Venetian symbols. And so out there is the old fortress that I showed where I started the video. And that is Albania. And the Greek mainland over there. Paxos down there. Great little island. Latin. Tibus, Ospio, Provisor, really hard to read, Property, so Deanna and I decided to go to Turkey since I had to leave Europe. Nice and cool in here. Oh man, what a relief. I'm definitely wearing down, overheated, ready to take a swim as soon as I show this view. Whoa. Holy moly, this thing is massive. Let's get to the top first. The old fortress's history dates back to the mid-6th century, 1500 years ago, when the ancient city of Corfu on the Pellian Peninsula was destroyed in barbarian incursions. It was then that its inhabitants began gradually moving to the naturally fortified peninsula of the old fortress, where we are now with its 2 peaks, where the Byzantine city Corfu, from which the island took its name, Corfu, developed. The Byzantines and later the Angevins, never heard of them, walled the peninsula and built towers on both its peaks. The settlement west of the peninsula, the Ciopoli or Borgo, began to grow at the same time as Corfu, at approximately the site of the modern city. The current form of the old fortress's fortifications is mostly owed to the defensive works done during the period of Venetian rule, 1386 to 1797, more than 400 years. Albania, Albania, it lies upon the Adriatic. So I guess the Ionian Sea goes into the Adriatic right around here. Okay, so what is what? Because there's like a big space over there, this little tiny island. Okay, that is Corfu. That is the island that I'm on, stretching out that way. And then over there is Albania and then Greece, mainland.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Efadosopoli. Kalispera.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.